So, as a kid, I watched both the Jungle Books a lot, both the remake and this one, and I think I may have watched the sequel to this one, which I bet a lot of people don't know about because I feel like there were things that I remember that weren't in this movie. So maybe I've seen the sequel before, but we're here to talk about the 1967 original as of right now. First off, the Bare Necessities song was not as good as I remembered. Um, and they do it three times. It's just fine. I recently rewatched Willy Wonka and I enjoyed all of the songs in that movie. Some less than others, but I still loved all the songs in that movie. This movie only has three songs and I didn't really care for the Bare Necessities song. I can still see why it's iconic, but just not as good as I remembered. So the plot of the movie is Mowgli's apparently been abandoned. At least I guess that's what's implied because he's just in a basket in the middle of nowhere in the jungle for some reason. You know, a lot of Disney movies give reasons for why, characters were abandoned or this and that. Like, I believe Meet the Robinsons had a reason. Tarzan had a reason. Fucking Tarzan's parents were murdered and then the gorillas took him in. In this movie, he's just sitting in the jungle and Bagheera takes him to the wolves to be raised. There's only three women characters in the movie, which I wouldn't normally say anything about, but this movie's a little bit sexist. I still really enjoyed it besides those parts, but it's a little bit sexist. It's crazy that this movie takes place not, in canon wise but it takes place during the Vietnam War. This movie came out in 67. The Vietnam War was still going on. That's just personally crazy to me. Like, Lyndon B. Johnson was president when this movie came out. So, Mowgli's raised by the wolves for a very long time. We don't see much of it. But eventually, Shao Khan, the tiger, I guess he's back from vacation or something. He's coming back to the jungle and he hates man. So, they decide that they're not going to take care of him anymore. They do a vote. And the wolf dad reluctantly is ready to get rid of his son. He's going to do it himself, but Bagheera butts in and he's like, no, I'll take him. I walk with Mowgli all the time. The mom, even though she's an important character, she took Mowgli in. She doesn't have any lines. The wolf mom doesn't have any lines. Most characters in this movie have one or two scenes, but they all work really well. They meet some elephants. They get like two scenes. They decide to help Bagheera in the second scene. And this is where the sexism comes in that I was talking about. The elephants are like soldiers. So that like I said, this could be a reference to, the Vietnam War, which would be crazy in a kid's movie because of the crazy stuff that was happening in the Vietnam War. The mom is like, hey, you gotta help Bagheera. We wouldn't want our son to be alone and in danger. And she says, I'm gonna take over the herd if you don't. And he fucking says, a female leading the herd, that's laughable, or something along those lines. Insane thing to say. Just wow. They meet Baloo. He sings the Bare Necessity song, which I already said I wasn't a huge fan of. They don't have that much time together, but they bond really quickly. King Louie ends up taking fucking Mowgli with his monkeys. They kidnap Mowgli. Baloo and Bagheera go back and save him from King Louie. King Louie is fucking awesome. I really like the voice actor and the job he does as King Louie. Best song of the movie. There's only three songs, but best song of the movie by far. The movie's only an hour and 21 minutes, so it goes by like that. King Louie's out of the movie after that. He only gets one scene, but he steals the show. By far the best character. Bagheera and Baloo have black eyes from the fight with Louie and the monkeys. And the time goes by fast. Like, they're talking and it's nighttime. And you can tell their black eyes are slowly starting to heal and it's slowly turning into daytime. Which, weird choice, but it looks pretty good, especially for a 67 movie. I don't think a black eye would heal, that fast. But I guess they didn't want Baloo to have a black eye during his argument with Mowgli. Baloo tries to tell Mowgli that he has to go to the man village, which Bagheera had tried to do in the first place, but Mowgli didn't want to listen to him. So Baloo tries to get him to listen. He's like, I can't take care of you. The stuff with King Louie kind of proved that. And he also tries to use an example Bagheera did about how you wouldn't marry a panther because he's a bear. He tries to use that example with Mowgli. Mowgli runs off. He's alone now. He runs into some vultures and he stays with them for a little bit. They become friends. I believe the vultures actually do sing too, but I don't really remember their song. I don't remember disliking it, but yeah. Shere Khan shows up because he hears the singing, and they fly off and tell Mowgli to run away. They do end up helping, but man, that felt kind of shitty at first, them just flying away and not helping him. But they do end up helping him. A fire breaks out, and it's not caused by Mowgli or any of the characters. I believe like a lightning strike happened or something. And Mowgli ties a fire. He gets a branch on fire and ties it to the tiger. And that scares the tiger away, and he runs with the fire on his tail. And that's how we get rid of Shere Khan. Kind of anticlimactic, if you ask me. Then Mowgli finds... He stumbles across the man village, because I guess they're finally there. And he sees a little girl, and she's singing. There's actually a lot more songs than I remember, I guess. I think she was like the third song that I was thinking of, though. But, yeah, she is singing about how her mom and dad want her to go fetch the water. Her dad's at work, her mom's cooking at home. And how she's also gonna conform to those gender stereotypes, that one day she's gonna have kids and she's gonna stay at home while her husband works, and she's gonna send her daughter to go fetch the water. Just, if someone wants to live that way, there's nothing wrong with it. But in the time frame of this movie, it probably wasn't a way to empower women. It was just like, this is what women are supposed to do. They're supposed to cook and clean at home. Because women are still treated badly to this day, obviously. But they definitely were not treated right in the 60s. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into a lot of history and stuff, because this is a movie about Jungle Book, but there was stuff that wasn't passed to the 90s that were meant to protect women. But yeah, just it's a bit sexist. And Blue, the fun-loving character of the movie, also has a bit of a sexist line. He's like, tells Mowgli that women are nothing but trouble. But Mowgli ends up going with the little girl, and I guess they're maybe gonna date now. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. Baloo and Bagheera sing together, and Mowgli goes to the man village finally. All it took was a woman, or a little girl in this case. Just his hormones were acting up, and he went with a girl. There's one more thing I want to mention now that I've talked about the whole movie. The snake, Ra, who hypnotizes Mowgli and is in 2 scenes of the movie, is played by the original voice actor of Winnie the Pooh. And I could tell instantly when watching this movie. I was like, he sounds like a bit of a lower pitched Winnie the Pooh. Like, he didn't change his voice that much, but it works, so I guess I can't criticize it. Sadly, the actor that plays the snake passed away in 1992. And, obviously, he was also Winnie the Pooh. It's a decent movie. Not as good as I remembered. Not bad either. And I can see why kids would still love this movie to this day. I'm probably going to watch the sequel and the remake soon. I actually have a bookmark still to this day because I read a lot of books, and I have a bookmark of the remake Jungle Book from when it came out. I have a bookmark. And it's like, I believe it's this cover right here that they're using for the picture. Yeah, this movie was pretty good. Shere Khan was decently threatening, but got beat in kind of an anticlimactic way. Would have been better if Mowgli had learned to make fire, but no, it's just like, oh, fire happens and he uses it to his advantage. They also do a fake out trying to make you think Baloo died, but he didn't. And yeah, that's the Jungle Book.